In today's video, I'll show you a step-by-step guide on how to build the new best production base in Palworld. This base is designed so that all 50 pals can work on the same task at once. That means maximum production rates all in one centralized base. It's also an all-in-one setup so your pals can gather multiple resources at the same time and you can swap them around depending on what you need most. This base requires a huge amount of materials to complete, so I'd highly recommend building my 15 pal all-in-one base first. It'll help you gather resources much faster and make this massive setup way easier to build later on. Before building, place your Palbox right in the middle of the 3 oil veins. The coordinates are 919, 192. This base sits just east of the desert biome on a small island. Don't worry about perfect placement yet, I'll show you a trick later to match my setup exactly. When placing, 2 oil extractors face either southeast or northwest and align the bottom of the extractor with the base of the oil vein. Slowly slide the extractor left or right until it turns red, then carefully move it back until it snaps blue. At this point, you can either rotate it to your preferred direction or place it right away. Once the first extractor is down, move to the opposite side of the vein to place the second one. For now, only place these 2 extractors on the oil vein. Ignore the others for the moment. Before placing foundations, clear all the trees inside the base. The game prevents trees from respawning when a structure sits on top of them, so clearing them now avoids issues later. Now that the area is clear, it's time to place the foundations. For the first foundation, align it with a far right oil extractor. Position it at the top of the 5 lines on the extractor. Line up the right side of the foundation with the right edge of the extractor piece. Push it as far forward as possible. Once placed, it should look like this. I've already outlined the full base so you can follow along. Anytime you see wooden pieces placed, that just means they're roofs, but we'll be starting with foundations first since roofs need foundations and pillars for support. From the first foundation, go right 3 foundations, then diagonally 2. Go straight 9 and diagonally 3. Go straight 9 and diagonally 4. Go straight 3. Next, place 7 foundations straight towards the Palbox. Add 2 to the right, then 2 to the left. From there, go 7 more to the right. Place 1 to the right, 2 to the left. Finally, go left 1, then 2 right. That completes the foundation outline. For the roof section, follow this order. 2, 1, 3, 2. On the other side, 2, 2, 2, then a foundation. From that foundation, place 4 more roof pieces to connect them together. This completes the entire base outline. Once finished, go ahead and fill everything in. Next, we'll fine-tune the Palbox so the blue perimeter line fully covers the base. Remove your Palbox and place it again, checking how the blue line sits around the foundations each time. My exact Palbox location is 919, 192. It's normal if the blue line cuts slightly through some foundations. Just keep removing and replacing until the blue line matches my layout. Once it does, you'll have the exact same base placement as mine. Now all that's left to do is swap the foundations around the Palbox with stairs. With the foundations complete and the Palbox in place, it's time to add the oil extractors. Use the same placement method as before. For this oil vein specifically, place the extractor so that the bottom edge just overlaps the base of the oil vein. If done correctly, you'll have just enough room to place foundations directly besides the extractors, and that extra space is important for the rest of the build. With all these steps complete, it's time to start stacking the build. Begin by placing 2 stairs in this location. From the top of the stairs, copy this design. On the right side, equip the fishing pond and push it as far back as possible, then slide it to the left until the left side of the stairs lines up with the roof. Once it's placed, remove the extra roof at the edge. Do the exact same thing on the left side, this time aligning the right side of the stairs with the roof. Again, remove the extra roof piece once the pond is placed. In the middle section where the roof extends out, place another fishing pond between the 2 side ponds, pushing it as far forward as you can. Make sure it isn't placed too far back or your pals won't be able to path to it. To keep stacking higher, place 2 more stairs and copy the design. you can remove the roof once the stairs are placed. Important tip, always place the fishing ponds before moving on to the next level. If you build all the layers first, the ponds can't be placed afterwards. By the time you hit the height limit, you'll have placed 21 fishing ponds. If you want even more ponds, I'll show you an additional design at the end of the video. Next, let's set up the breeding pens. Start by placing a wall in this location. This lets you snap large containers perfectly against it. Build the containers in a 3x7 layout. This leaves just enough space to fit a breeding pen. Pro tip, keep a handling pal in your party. You'll need to summon it to help you build containers when you start stacking higher levels. Build the containers up to 24 layers high. That's just enough to house a full 50 pal base. On the opposite end, place walls upwards so you can climb onto them and easily position your breeding pens. You only need to align them to the left and right edges since the pen can't be pushed further forward. Always place breeding pens facing the same direction. Checking your compass at the top of the screen helps keep everything consistent. Once a layer of pens is set, remove the containers underneath to free up the space. This allows you to keep stacking more breeding pens below. When it's time to collect eggs or refill cake storage, the easiest method is to use a flying pal. You can quickly fly around the pens and interact with them without needing to climb. Now let's move on to stacking ranches. Start by snapping large containers to this wall. For each ranch, you'll need a 2x5 area of containers. Each ranch supports 4 pals, so we'll be building this setup 12 layers high. Instead of climbing walls to place the ranches, use Japanese-style chests as platforms. They give just the perfect distance for placing ranches, but make sure to rotate the chests so they're lined up correctly. For placement, you only need to move left or right to place the ranches into position. Just remember to always face the same direction. This prevents the ranches from rotating or being misaligned. Once the ranch is placed and built, remove a layer of containers underneath. This clears the space and allows you to keep stacking more ranches below. Head behind the ranches and place a pillar in this location. This will be the snapping point for the pal beds. You can use any pal bed in the game as we only need the bed symbol to avoid negative effects, so the type doesn't matter. For a large pal bed, you'll need 4 benches per bed, 2 benches side by side stacked 2 high. For a 50 pal base, that works out to be 196 benches total. Pro tip, if you summon a handling pal, it can build the beds automatically while you destroy the benches and place the next set. Now let's move over to the other side of the base to set up the plantations. Start by placing a wall in this location. This will be the anchor point for stacking. For large plantations like wheat, first align 2 benches rotated and centered against the wall. This gives just enough room to place a large plantation on top. When stacking higher up, you will have gaps where it doesn't let you place down the plantation. To fix this, go to the side of the wall and try look up as high as possible while holding alignment mode. You must have your crosshairs on the inside of the wall and not the plantation. Repeat this method for all the different large plantations. For smaller plantations like berries, you only need 1 bench as support. Since plantations only require 1 layer of benches per structure, you can stack them as high as you want. There's no height limit. Even when stacked extremely high, plantations remain fully usable and the transporting pals will still deposit items with no issues. To the right of the breeding pens, place a wall in this location. This will be the snapping point for the Skillfruit orchards. Since Skillfruits count as a large plantation, each layer will need 2 benches for support. The trees are quite tall, requiring 9 layers of benches. Use the same technique we used earlier with the plantations, holding alignment mode in between this gap to snap them into place. You want your crosshairs to be looking up as high as possible. Anything with the inventory interface like Skillfruits will require you to tick the auto deposit box. This ensures your pals will automatically take the items inside. Head to this location and place down 2 walls. On the first wall, we'll be stacking mills. To do this, use a rotated antique bookshelf as a platform. Each bookshelf supports 1 mil per layer, so for a 50 base you'll need 49 bookshelves in total. On the second wall we'll be stacking crushers. Using alignment mode, rotate the crusher to sit on top of the rotated antique bookshelf. However, crushers naturally face backwards when stacked, which is why we're building them against this wall. Just like the mills, it takes 49 bookshelves to stack crushers for a 50 base. Head behind the breeding pens and place a large power generator in this location. Next, snap a flag or locker to the generator and rotate it so it sits as close as possible to the generator. This flag or locker will serve as our snapping point to perfectly align each generator in the stack. To stack them tightly together, start by building wooden bar stools extended 5 out from the flag. You can place a temporary floor if needed. You can remove the first 3 stools after, since they're not needed for support. Stack the stools 8 high, which gives you just enough room to fit a large power generator. I've stacked mine to the base height limit, but you can continue even higher if you'd like. For the disassembly conveyors, start by placing a wall in this location. Next, snap rotated fireplaces to the wall. This is what you'll use to stack the conveyors. Each conveyor only needs 1 fireplace for support, so I'll be placing 12 fireplaces. When placing the conveyors, make sure the robotic arms on the conveyors are facing towards the breeding pens. This setup makes it easy to climb the ladders and quickly drop unwanted piles straight into the conveyors when ready to be butchered. For the advanced Sulfur assembly line, start by placing a pillar in this location. Next, snap 2 flags to the pillar and rotate them so they're positioned as close together as possible. Once aligned, remove the pillar and the first flag. This leaves you with 1 perfectly placed flag to snap the assembly line onto. Now snap the advanced Sulfur assembly line to the flag, making sure the robotic arms face towards the conveyors. To stack multiple assembly lines, place 4 rotated fireplaces side by side for alignment. Once the placement is correct, you can remove the first 3 fireplaces, leaving the last one as support. That single fireplace gives just enough room to fit another advanced Sulfur assembly line on top. For a 50 base, you'll need 13 assembly lines in total. Head over to the breeding pens and place down a large-scale electric egg incubator. Snap flags or lockers to the incubator. These will act as your snapping points for alignment. Next, remove the incubator and snap 2 rotated benches to your snapping point. Each incubator requires 3 layers of benches for proper stacking. I've stacked around 20 incubators total, which is perfect for mass hatching pals efficiently. As an important tip, don't place the incubators before building your Sulfur assembly lines, as doing so will block the placement for the assembly lines later. Head to this location and place a pillar. This will serve as a snapping point for perfect alignment. On one side, place the advanced workshop, and on the other side, place a weapons assembly line. To stack them higher, snap a rotated fireplace to the pillar. For a 50 base, you'll need 12 fireplaces on each side to reach the full height. Make sure the robotic arms face outwards from each other for proper alignment so your pals will have access. Move over to the other side of the base and place a pillar in this location. This will serve as a snapping point to perfectly align your ore mining site twos. To stack the mining sites, you'll need 4 earthened pipes per layer. These are unlocked at level 38 in the outdoor furniture set. Each ore mining site 2 can be worked by 3 pals at once, so for a 50 base you'll want to place down 17 mining sites in total. To the left of the ore mining site, place another pillar in this location. Since all the remaining mining sites are smaller, they only require 2 earthened pipes stacked on top of each other. This same method works for all the other mining sites in the game. At this location, I've stacked pure quartz on one side and hexolite on the other, using the pillar as a snapping point. Next, snap pillars to these positions. This will allow you to stack both coal mines and sulfur mines using the exact same technique. Next to the ranches, place a pillar in this spot. Use the same stacking method as before, but this time everything will be aligned to the side. When placing down your logging sites, make sure they're all rotated in the correct direction for proper placement and pathing. Head over next to the stone pit and place down a hot spring. Snap a flag directly to it, making sure it's centered and rotated as close as possible. Add 2 more flags to the right, then remove the first 2. Snap a bench to the remaining flag. Connect 2 more rotated benches to the first bench, then remove the extras once everything is properly aligned. From here, stack lockers or flags against the bench to build upwards. This lets you easily continue stacking additional hot springs. Each hot spring requires 3 benches for support. You may need to slightly rotate each hot spring to get perfect alignment. For a 50 base, aim for a maximum of 20 hot springs. Go over to the left side of the fishing pond and place a wall in this location. This wall will allow you to align the gold coin assembly line perfectly. Since these assembly lines are smaller than the others, they only require 3 rotated fireplaces for stacking. You can remove the first 2 fireplaces afterwards, which makes it easier to quickly stack and place additional ones. For a 50 base, you'll need 12 fireplaces in total. When placing the gold coin assembly lines, rotate them so the metal wheel is on the right side for consistent alignment. To the right side of the plantations, place a large-scale stone oven in this location. Make sure the oven isn't too far back. This will let you stack lockers or flags for perfect alignment. When using flags, make sure each one is centered and rotated so it sits as close to the oven as possible. Once aligned, remove the oven and snap rotated benches to the flag or locker to use as support. Each oven requires 4 layers of benches for proper height. Since 4 pals can use one oven, you'll need 48 layers of benches to fit 13 ovens for a full 50 base. Once finished, align an advanced chest to the right side of the ovens. This setup lets you snap a furnace perfectly to the chest for clean and consistent alignment. Start by placing 2 lockers side by side rotated long ways and stack them too high. Any lower and the furnace won't fit. Use the flag technique from earlier, but this time position the flag as far away as possible from the furnace to leave enough space. For a 50 base, you'll need 48 lockers, which is just enough to fit 13 furnaces. Once complete, snap a chest to the right side of the furnace to finish the setup. This will allow you to snap a Essence Condenser to the chest. Head over to the Palbox and place a wall next to the oil extractors. From there, stack 4 rotated benches. This gives you just enough room to perfectly align and stack your advanced medicine workbenches. I personally want around 20 medicine workbenches. Head to this location and place down a wall with a roof. Snap a bed to the wall. This allows you to sleep and skip the night whenever needed. To the left of the bed, place an antique dresser which lets you customize your character's appearance. Next, move to the left of the hot springs and place down the following items in order. Item retrieval machine, guild chest, statue of power, power dressing facility and a power gear workbench. This setup keeps all your utility stations close together for easy access and workflow. Head over to your bed and snap a rotated advanced chest to the antique dresser. From there, continue placing chests in a straight line all the way down to the Essence Condenser. These advanced chests are extremely useful since they don't require any supports, allowing you to freely stack them on top of one another. Now move around the base and add chests in the following locations for efficient item management. Stack chests to the right of the stone pit, the ore mining site 2. Snap chests to the right side of the ranch. Snap chests to the sides of the other mining sites. Snap chest to the side of the logging site, then snap another chest to that one for the disassembly conveyors. Snap chest to the right side of the crushers. For the production line, snap a chest in the middle of the line, then attach another chest to the first one. Remove the first chest afterwards. Repeat this process for the opposite production line. Snap a rotated chest to the advanced medicine workbench. Snap a chest to the middle of the gold coin assembly line, then another chest to the left, removing the first chest afterwards. Finally, snap another chest to the side of the last 2 production sites. Head to the Palbox and place down a global Palbox along with a dimensional Pal storage. Next to the advanced medicine workbench, snap a medicine rack to the nearby chest for easy access and healing supplies. Near the plantation sites, place down a cold food box. Transporting pals will automatically deposit all the food and ingredients inside this box rather than nearby chests, keeping your resources organized and easy to access. Under the fishing pond stairs, place down a drafting table, then turn around and snap the resource laboratory to the wall behind you. Once everything else is placed, go around the base and position all your base bonus items. Try to keep these around the outer edges of the base to prevent clutter and maintain easy access to your main workstation. For the expedition site, start by placing pillars in this location. Once the pillars are above your structure, build a roof and place a locker on top of it. This setup allows you to place the expedition site on top of the locker. After placing it, destroy the locker, remove the roofs and pillars, leaving your expedition site floating in the air. With everything stacked, we can see how much free space we have to place down the remaining fishing ponds. I've gone around and placed down a design for you to copy. I spent over 100 hours helping viewers build my last step-by-step guide. Because it takes so much time to assist everyone individually, I'll now be offering direct build help only to my YouTube channel members. As a thank you for your support, anyone who sends me a screenshot on Discord showing this base fully built will receive 50 of each Best Base Pals completely free. That's it, we now have a 50 pal base setup which allows you to send all 50 pals on a single task if needed. This base is the most productive base in the game as every structure is capped at 50 pals. If you're struggling to stack, you can click here for my in-depth stacking guide. With all that being said, it's been your boy Trops and I'll see you in the next one.